2027 split in APC deepens. And now to the news in full. A visit on December 11 by Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, the Ooni of Ife, to former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari in his hometown of Daura has been followed, according to sources, by discreet visits by a number of other influential figures from the southwest to the former president in an attempt to broker peace amid escalating rifts between his camp and that of President Bola Tinubu. Business hallmark gathered. According to close sources, Buhari understood to have lost patience with President Tinubu over his policies. He has lost patience. Is he whining? Is he playing? His own that he did for 8 years, he's losing patience. I beg, let's say what. With President Tinubu over his policies perceived to be anti-North, especially the controversial tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly. He is said to have recently criticized government in the presence of close confidants and consequently urged his supporters to look in another direction in 2027. Business hallmark also gathered that Aisha, Buhari's wife, who was instrumental to convincing her husband to back Tinubu after he initially opposed his ambition in favor of Ahmad Lawan, former Senate president, has also begun to regret backing the former Lagos governor, while allegedly resolving to work against him in 2027. I see. You want to work against him, but you were there for 8 years. You were South and anti-West. You were putting just your people there in power. Now Tinubu is following in your footsteps. You're not the one that said, well, you should continue from where you stopped. He said you should continue from where you stopped now, and he's doing just that. So now you're tired. You are losing patience. I don't get it. The former First Lady, who struck a friendship with Femi Tinubu, the incumbent First Lady, in the lead-up to the election last year, had reportedly lobbied to convince her husband to back Tinubu, and following Tinubu's victory, he had allegedly refused to move back to Daura with her husband, expecting to get patronage from the new administration, which did not happen. Mrs. Buhari had refused to return to Daura with her husband, preferring to stay at her palatial residence in Abuja. Had expressed regrets that after her support for Tinubu, her brother, Halilu, who was the promised FCT minister, can you imagine? You will help me, then you put my brother as a minister, you will do this, then you will also do this favor for me. Very rubbish something to do. That is what they do over there. I'll help you to become the governor, I will help you to become the president, and then you make me minister, you will make me that one. Can you imagine? You promised your brother Halilu to become the minister, but he went behind to pick Wiki. Good for you people. He said her brother Halilu, who was promised the FCC minister, did not get the plum job. Neither has he been considered for any other position, nor any of our other nominees considered for position. Good for you. Good for you. Noted Jackson Ude, a US-based journalist who had reported the death of former Army Chief Taoreed Lagbaja long before the authorities confirmed his passing. Close sources to the former First Lady told me Mrs. Buhari feels scammed, that after all she was promised, she has instead been humiliated as several overtures she recently made to see or speak with the president has been rebuffed. That is good. Ude noted that prior to 2023 presidential election, the Buhari presidency was largely divided as to whom to support, with the former president not keen on backing Tinubu until a few months to the election, when he was eventually convinced by his wife and some northern governors who feared that attempting to keep power in the north could cause implosion in the APC. After all she was promised, Mrs. Buhari is now in regrets. That she has not been patronized enough to commensurate her actions that led to the Tinubu's presidency, Ude said. She recently and quietly returned to Dara to be with her husband. She first stayed in Abuja now, sitting in regret, awaiting the completion of Buhari's house in Kaduna, while vowing to work against the Bola Tinubu re-election in 2027. How will you work against it? If everybody is going to work against it, then not you, because your husband was there for 8 years. Did you complain about the things that your husband did? No. You were happy with what he was doing. So why are you complaining? It is not in your place, I beg. Mrs. Buhari's position aligns with that of her husband, who has quietly and secretly criticized Tinubu's government. Quietly. You cannot come out in the open and criticize. Urging his supporters to look another direction in 2027. A source close to the former president confirmed to Business Hallmark that things are really going south between Buhari and Tinubu. He noted that while consultations had been ongoing for some time, there has been more urgency recently following Tinubu's introduction of the 4 tax reform bills, some provisions of which have been opposed by many political figures in the north, including governors and senators. The tax bill seems to be the last stroke, he said. Tinubu has initiated some moves to broker peace, but that's going to be the contentious topic. Speaking further, he said, Buhari is upset about the way Tinubu is running the country. You are upset? We were upset the way you were running the country too 8 years ago. We were upset till you left power in 2023. We are very upset because you are the architect of all the problems that is going on in Nigeria right now. You are saying you are upset. Upset as per how? Particularly with how he seems to be deliberately undermining the North, while fixing people from the South in almost every strategic position in government. You did the same thing now, Buhari. You did the same thing, so I don't understand this your complaint now. I don't understand. He's following in your footsteps. You did the same thing, so why the complaint? Earlier in June, leading northern political figures such as Buhari, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Kaduna and Kano state governors Nasir El-Rufai, Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso, respectively, among others who were hitherto in different political platforms, held strategic meetings in what Business Hallmark gathered were part of an ongoing political realignment in the region ahead of 2027. Northerners are not going to take over in 2027 because you've spent your 8 years complete. So the South too will have their 8 years complete. It might not be Tinubu, but definitely not you people. Definitely not you people at all. Precisely on June 22, Atiku, accompanied by some People's Democratic Party (PDP) stakeholders, visited Buhari at his home in Dara, Katsina State to, as he put it, pay a courtesy call and offer Salah homage. I didn't submit that they were Kajugo up and down. The former vice president had noted in a post on X after the visit that my trip to Katsina today also afforded me the opportunity to pay my condolences to the family of my late friend and associate, Alhaji Lawal Keita, over the loss of the matriarch of the family, Hajiya Yawa Keita, where I was received by the governor of Katsina, Diko Umar Rada. I also paid courtesy visit to the Emir of Katsina, His Royal Highness Abdulmumini Kabir Usman, and the Emir of Dara, His Royal Highness Alhaji Faruk Umar Faruk. Now you sabi, all of now make now they go meeting up and down. The fact still remains that the South will still remain in power. Probably not Tinubu, but definitely not somebody from the North again. After what you did for 8 years, put this country, they are the architect of the problem. Now you're angry. I don't understand your anger. My listeners, over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.